after a while, you just sort of say, just go on and let's, day to day. Our objective was we're going to go home today. We're going to go home with our honor. And I don't know about her or her group. Anyway, most of us don't pay any attention. Yes, sir.
But first of all, let me allow a comment. I think Vietnam was part of the Cold War. And the ones who really benefited from the Cold War and the victory in '89 and in 1990 was my nation. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for your contribution, for your sacrifices, and I would like to hand to you, just for all the Vietnam veterans over here in this room, recommend this kind of.
Oh, thank you. Very much.
I got a question. In '66, I went to high school in this country. Well, this was early Vietnam. In '69, '70, I spent 1 year in Fort Bliss as a young lieutenant to get my military training. Well, of course, I saw the reactions of the American public towards Vietnam, and as a young officer, I learned that as a military you can expect actually everything but gratitude from your own people. Did you, during your time in Hanoi, know about these resentments, this lack of gratitude, this criticism?
The question, and absolutely, because from starting in 1960, early '66 to 1970 time frame, they would take us, or they would play over the camp radio tapes of the rallies in anti-war rallies, and starting especially in '68, '69 time frame. They would, in one of the camps which was out in the country, they had actually dug trenches so that in case they needed to get us out of there, they'd take us out through trenches. Well, they would, every once in a while, would come along, blindfold us, and take us through these trenches to an area where they took the blindfolds off, and there was a movie screen in the woods around it, and they would show us the homemade movies of the rallies in Berkeley, the riots in Detroit, the Washington, D.C., the riots here, and then they would bring you in and then I call it like indoctrination. You sit there and listen to them go on and on about the American people, on and on. And then, of course, the fellows that would come in, especially that was shut down in late '67, early '68, before the cessation of bombing, would tell us, it's true, guys, that, what was actually happening. So it really, it was very perplexing. The delegations that would come and the propaganda that they used. And not only perplexing, confusing, but the bottom line was that no matter what, we were there. We had our group, and someday we could go to the library and read about it, and make up our own minds. But at that time, our main mission was to survive and to keep each other going and help ourselves survive. We had our own group, our own mission. But it was, it was very, very demoralizing at the time. And then the other point you made about the Cold War, one of the questions I received a few weeks ago was, what is the legacy of Vietnam to you? And one of the, there's many points. But what was interesting at the time, I remember, was that when we were aviators and we were out there on the carriers of the Western Pacific, our mission was directed towards, it was a Cold War, and it was directed towards the Soviet Union and to China. And all of a sudden, this little country down here became sort of like a nuisance. Vietnam, but it was South Vietnam and North Vietnam, and the bamboo curtain. And so we really didn't know what we were pulled into. But it was all a result of the Cold War. And next thing you know, we find ourselves there. And I recall one of the fellows that I lived with later, but before he was shot down, they brought a unit in. And he says, my God, we're bringing all these people in. And he talked to his commander. He says, what are we doing? This was in early 1965. And they hadn't all put it together. So one of the legacies I say is that when we go in, and we're going to commit our troops, you better darn well explain what you're doing to the American public, what you're going to do. Because that's a tremendous resource that you just can't play around with. And I think that's one of the lessons we learned, hopefully, amongst many other lessons. But the Cold War was the big issue at the time, you're right. Anyway.
You've been very generous with your time. Ev has received many honors, but probably one that really stands out to a lot of us that have known him is when he came home, President Reagan had a function at the White House for the returning POWs, and Nixon, I'm sorry. And one of the guests there was John Wayne. And John Wayne made the comment that was heard by many, and he said, in the movies, I just play heroes. And he said, Everett Alvarez is the hero. And he broke down at that point. So thank you very much for being here.